Hello friends, this is the Familiar Feline ASMR. Today we are going to be taking a look at the Fallout board game. It is based off of the Fallout video games, which I am a very big fan of. Actually, you can see my tea mug here, which has the mushroom cloud and dog meat. It is one of the more complicated board games that I own. Actually, probably the most complicated. It takes around 15-20 minutes just to set it up, and probably at least a good 2 hours to play. I don't keep it in the box. I keep it in this plastic Tupperware container, so it has a nice handle. Set the lid off to the side. Okay. So in here I also have other little containers to hold some of the pieces. So it's easier for me to keep it clean and organized. And in the bottom here are the books. So there is a rules reference book and a learn how to play book. It takes quite a while to learn the ins and outs of this game. I watched several YouTube videos and played it by myself quite a bit before I went and tried to teach my husband how to play. But it just shows how to set the game up. I will show you all the pieces here in a minute. I am not going to be teaching you how to play or anything, because that would be a long time. But I do love this game, and I think that whatever team worked to make it did an extremely amazing job of putting the video game into board game form. I don't really feel there's anything missing. There isn't really anything that I don't enjoy about the game. But this is just the rules reference. So if you already know how to play, this will kind of give you a quick guide to any questions that you have as they pop up while you play. All of the, if you have questions about the quest cards or moving map tiles, perk cards, all of this can be extremely useful. I know even playing this board game, I still have questions sometimes, and I need to go into the reference book and find the answer. So those are the books, and let's start here. I was most excited when I got the game. My husband bought it for me for Christmas whenever it came out a few years ago, and I was most excited about these cardboard bottle caps. The red ones are worth 1 bottle cap, and the blue ones are worth 5 bottle caps. Hopefully my camera is focusing on the correct area for you guys to see them, but I thought they were really cool. I almost want to get another game just to make like a shadow box or something. I think that would be pretty cool. And next we can look at this larger container. It is kind of loud when I open and close these containers, so I might have to edit that out or turn it down. These are some of the cards that come with it. They are very small, which is kind of nice because the game has so many pieces that if these were full-size cards, it would be very difficult to set the game up. So there's 3, 4, 5 different types of these mini cards. So this right here with the caps on the back are store cards. So if you go to a settlement and you get to go shopping, then you can look through a few of these cards. Here we have a Gek. So with a Gek, it is an item, and it is an aid item, and it costs 12 bottle caps. It says During your turn, you may trash this card to draw one agenda. These ones right here are agenda cards, and I will show them to you in a minute. Here is a stim pack, which costs 5 bottle caps, and it says, during your turn, you may discard this card to recover all of your hit points. And there's also weapons like the plasma gun, and these right here, the IAL, means that you can use this if you have those special. I'll show them to you in a minute, but you can gather them just like you would in the game to level up your character. There's some Radaway. Here is a companion, the Load Lifter, so you can also have companions. If you have the I in special, you can get this one. They're McCready. Just a lot of different types of cards. So that is it for the store cards. And these are loot cards, so you can get these when you do quests and things, or defeat certain enemies. You can get junk. During your turn, you may discard this card and another junk card to gain one card of your choice from the loot or shop discard piles. It's really hard. I'm trying to show you these cards while also reading them myself. Here is Brahmin steak and Preston Garvey, metal armor, a fistful of caps, you can also find these magazines, so when you camp, if you do not have P, which is your perception, you may discard this card to gain 2 experience points. Camping is a move that you can do which allows you to regenerate hit points and use different kinds of cards, such as this one. And these are extra special cards that you can get in the game. I can't read these ones upside down. Pain Train. Discard to gain 1 movement point until the end of your turn. Each time you move into a space that has an enemy whose level is equal to or lower than your shield, you kill that enemy. So this little shield symbol is your armor rating. Here's the armorer cards. Swift Learner, Sniper. So these are just other kinds of cards you can get to kind of level your character up. these ones right here are kind of power item cards. Here's Dog Meats. Dog Meats says exhaust before a fight to ignore all ability icons on the enemy. If you have an aid item, keep this companion when it unexhausts, which I will show you in a minute what half of those words mean. T60 power armor, the shish kebab, an alien blaster, super sledge, fat man, mysterious stranger, the Wasteland Survival Guide, T60E power armor, and these are oh, it just said what they were. I can't remember. We just read one that said what these cards are called. I always forget. But whenever the player's turns are over, then the enemy gets their turn, and you draw one of these cards, and whichever is down in the corner, that means it is that type of enemy's turn. And you also have this, which is your, I had to look it up because I couldn't remember what it was called, but these are your influence. So if you have, I think it's 10 influence, then you win the game. I think it is different when you play with different amounts of people. So if you have this card, then if you have 3 or more drug items, then you get 1 influence. And you also get 1 influence if you are well rested, which I will show you in just a second what well rested means. And you get these cards for completing quests. So that is all of the tiny cards. And now we can take a look at the map tiles. So these are the board part of the game. Like this one has Pendleton Estate, and it is a 3, so that changes some of the cards and different kinds of things you can do. And this means that when you flip the tile, that type of enemy will go on this spot. And on the back, you can see this one is a red exclamation point. There are also green. So when you set up the map, some of these are put face down, so you have to explore to find out where different things are. And so this one right here, this symbol, this is a ruin, and this one is a town. And some of them don't have the exclamation point because they are special places that go someplace particular depending on the map that you are playing. So here we have the bridge, and on the other side is Acadia, and the nucleus, and the mill, Haven, Far Harbor, Super Mutant Camp, downtown Boston and the railroad, the mall, Red Rocket Station, the tower, Ashbury Road, Robco Factory, and this one, which doesn't have anything except for radiation. So these spots are green. That means when your character moves through them, they pick up radiation. Super Duper Mart, Megaton, and the areas like this that are red. So every move you get, you move 2 spaces, but the red is only 1 space, so it counts as 2 spaces. When you move through it, it is difficult terrain. Vault 84, Raider Camp, Crossroads Camp, which is where your character always starts off on this tile. There's also Crossroads Camp on this side, but they are the same. And this one just has difficult terrain, a bug enemy, and a water tower. CIT Ruins, Project Purity, Fault 109, Hoffman Farm, and then when you lay them out, they all fit together like that. It is a pretty interesting way. It is a pretty interesting way to set up the game, so that way all of the different maps that you do, even if you do the same setup, will always be different. And here are the quest cards. They all have numbers up in the corners so that you know which tasks to grab, because they'll say things like stage 34 and 67. So if you do that, then you get out card 34 and 67 and you put it into the deck. I don't want to really read many of these because some of them I have not done yet, and I like to be surprised. But you can see there are plenty of quests to do. I've done here. These are some of the starter cards. Actually, let's read this one. We can read this one, which is Welcome to the Commonwealth. So it says, many dangers lurk in this new wasteland ahead of you, but the one you have heard the most about is the dreaded synth, said to look, sound, and smell just like humans. They are robots who have infiltrated the very society of the Commonwealth. And then you choose which action to do. So you can kill a suspected synth that no one will miss to find the truth, and then you kill an enemy. Or, this all sounds a bit overblown, head to Diamond City to discreetly dig up some information. And then you would go to Diamond City to complete this. Or you can kill a human symbol here, that type of enemy, to see if they are a synth. And that one is 14. I really don't want to get these mixed up, but there are a lot of different kinds of cards, and I do like the way that the card system is set up. Had a couple that were mixed up. These ones are all the starter cards. There's 159. They were still a little mixed up from the last time I played. this one has the characters that you play as. And that one. And the Super Mutant, which is the one that I usually play as. There he is. He was hiding behind my microphone. And cool. So there's the Super Mutants, the Brotherhood of Steel Outcast, the Lone Wanderer, Ghoul, and the Wastelander, I think. Here's their little cards. So the Brotherhood Outcast, Vault Dweller, Ghoul, Super Mutant, and the Wastelander. And then on the other side of these cards is the traits of each character. So I usually play as the Super Mutant. So each time you gain radiation, you gain 1 experience point, which is why I like being the Super Mutant, because it's really easy to level up. And the Wastelander starts with the Tire Iron weapon. And the Vault Dweller starts with a Vault suit. The Brotherhood Outcast starts with T45 power armor. And the Ghoul suffers no radiation. Instead, they gain HP. And here are the dice, which I really like. They actually have the VATS on them. Whenever you roll these little vault door looking symbols, those are your block points. But if you are attacking, this means that you attack their arms, chest. That's probably the best side. You hit a whole lot of areas, and you can also block 2. And these are different chips that represent the factions on the board. The factions are different depending on what scenario you set up your game. There we go. Didn't want it. So these are the different scenarios. There's Far Harbor, the Capital Wasteland, the Commonwealth, and the Pit. The Commonwealth is kind of the beginner game. It's the easiest. So a star shape like this represents the railroad, and the shield shape like this represents the Institute. And whatever they have as far as attack and block depends on where they are at in this chart. Completing different quests can move their little pieces on here up and down. And on this side shows you the map, shows you how to set up. And I also have the expansion pack, but I don't put them together. I keep that in a separate box. Now we can look at the enemies. There are a few different types of enemies. Let's sort them out first. Oops. So there's kind of bug symbol enemies, and these move around the board and attack you, or sometimes you have to fight during quests. So here is a rad scorpion. He takes 1 hit to kill, and you need to hit him in his legs or arms. And this kind of scritchy up lightning bolt symbol, that means that he will attack you first, and that if he is not defeated, he will run away. There's stingwings, feral ghouls, rad roach, mole rat, bloatfly, and the human enemies, Raider Psycho, Looter, Raider Scum, Bounty Hunter, and Regulator. This is the Super Mutants. Super Mutant Overlord, Super Mutant Brute, that's another Brute, Protectron Medic, and these are the robots. Protectron Medic, Mr. Gutsy, Sentrybot, and another Mr. Gutsy. And the extra difficult enemies with the Deathclaw symbol. There's an Agwai, a Deathclaw, Glowing One, and another Deathclaw. And now I can show you the player boards. So each player gets one of these boards. They have 4 of them. And here is your special. So you have your strength, perception, endurance, charisma, intelligence, agility, and luck. And this is where you keep track of your XP. When you go beyond here, you level up and start again. But your radiation starts down here, and hit points starts up here. And when those 2 pegs cross, you die. And here you have tokens, which are these right here. Depending on your character and your actions, you can gain some of these tokens. So this would mean you are idolized, and this side is vilified. Synth or super mutant, and well rested or addicted, and those just sit right in here, and they change what you can do during quests, and a couple other things too. And here are these special tokens. So if you level up and you get your L, it goes in there. And in here are these. So this gray one is for your experience points. The green is for your radiation. And the red is for your hit points. And that is everything. All the pieces that come with the game. I hope that you are not too incredibly confused, and I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy this video, and if you can like, share, subscribe, comment, all those things are extremely helpful to me. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a really great day.